Hi, everyone. My name is Patrick O'Shea, and welcome to another edition of GC Orthodontics Exchange. It is my honor and my privilege to be here with my good friend, Dr. Amanda Gallagher.
Thank you for having me, Patrick.
You are welcome. Hi, Amanda, and welcome.
Thank you.
Before we get into this, I got to ask, since yesterday was Mother's Day, how did Ben spoil you and the kids? What did you get up to?
Well, I started off with some breakfast in bed. They had a Starbucks DoorDash, so we just moved into a new house, so we don't have a lot of kitchen stuff yet. But they gave me some flowers and cards, and then we went to brunch with my parents down at the Four Seasons in Baltimore. So it's so beautiful. It was a beautiful day.
Awesome.
So we had a great day. Yeah, thank you.
Right? Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, congrats, Amanda. We're here at your newest location in Cross
Yes.
Keys. Beautiful. I just had a little
Thank
tour,
you.
so thank you so much. As always, just a stunning
Yes, thank you.
event. So when did you actually open this?
So we opened this location January 14th. It was actually on my birthday. It was supposed to be open about 6 months prior, but just with any building, you never know. There's always going to be some delays in that. So, but we've been open for a couple of months now. It's been going great.
It's going great.
Yeah, we
Awesome.
love it. Yeah.
And this is location number 5. Where are your
Location
other
number
locations?
5. Yep. So this is our 5th location around Baltimore. So originally started on the east side of Baltimore, Nottingham, Perry Hall area, Bel Air area. Then we went down to the city. So we have one down in Baltimore City in Harbor Point, and then Columbia. That opened in 22. And then this was our most recent here, just opening this year. So
You've been rocking and rolling, no doubt.
yeah, we like to stay busy.
Well, of course, you treated my kids up in the Fallston
Yes.
location.
Yeah.
I don't
The
know.
original
Yes,
original
yes.
Fallston
My
location
original kids
above the
in
psychic.
original location.
Yeah, there was a
How
psychic
original
on
can
the
you get?
first floor.
Yep.
Yeah, do you remember the psychic?
Oh, I sure do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
when
two
I
kids.
when I originally bought that office, I didn't want that location, so I bought an office from a retired orthodontist, Dr. Morris, who
right.
you worked with prior
Yep.
to me coming in, and that was in 2012. Oh, sorry, 2013. So we're coming up on 12 years,
Yeah.
which is insane. That's going to be in June, and when we originally bought it, it was just 2 little hole in the wall kind of offices. And the one that I treated your kids in was above a psychic. It was a 2-story walk up. And I was like, in the deal, I'm like, I don't want that one. They're like, you can't choose. Like, you have to take both of them. So we took that one. And then, we made some little renovations.
Yes, you did.
I had to take down the poster that was from 1981 that was on the wall. That was the year before I was born. So,
Yep.
yeah.
And I think
But
I
you
went
still
to,
came anyway.
Yeah, well, again, you treated my kids. I've got
Yeah.
2 kids. We went to see you 3 times because I had
Yeah.
a boy
Yeah.
that wouldn't wear his retainer, but
That's
hey,
right.
that's a story for another
Yeah.
day. So I remember going down to that Perry Hall location,
Yeah.
and our first visit in, with, I think it was Maeve, actually,
Yeah.
to do a clean check or whatever. And then we went for our second visit, and you had the whole place renovated.
Yeah.
And I think you said it was your uncle that came in and did some kind of just clean it up a little bit.
It was one of
Fresh coat
my
paint.
one of my employees. The one girl that I brought in, it was her uncle actually, and he did some light renovations for us. So I didn't want to make too many changes coming into a new practice. But I wanted to make the patients aware that I wanted to kind of clean things up and make it a little bit more current. And I think people really appreciated that at the beginning.
It was impressive.
Yeah, well,
oh
thank
my gosh,
you.
my Apple Watch is going off, so forgive me. You might have to edit that out. So, anyways, let's go back to the beginning a little
Yeah.
bit. I am curious. What got you into orthodontics
Okay.
back in the day? What inspired you? This is the career path I want to go on.
It was never actually on my radar initially. So I was originally interested in going to medical school, and all through growing up, I thought I wanted to be a physician. I wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon, actually, so the other ortho, and because I was really big into sports, and I played sports in college. And then as I was in college and I studied managed care, I started learning about the healthcare system, managed care, and I didn't want insurance companies to dictate how I was going to be treating patients. And I was able to work in the operating room with OBGYN, orthopedics teams. I did all the specialties. And a lot of the doctors were like, this is not what we thought it was going to be. This is not the kind of career you may want to go down. And I was like, okay, is this because I'm like a female and you're trying to discourage me from like orthopedics because it was a very male dominated industry? Yeah. And then as I was learning more about managed care, I was like, you know what? I want to have control over my own destiny. I knew that I wanted to have a business. I knew I wanted to be a mom. I knew I wanted to have a family. I didn't want to be on call. And so that's how I started looking to dentistry. So I was about to take my MCATs and I switched it right over to the DATs. And I took the DATs. I started applying to dental schools. And even when I was applying to dental schools, some of the dental schools they were not that interested in me because my whole background was in medicine. And they were like, well, if we accept you into dental, what makes you think that, you're going to stay in this? Like, I think you're going to transfer out. So it took a little bit of convincing, but I really didn't have much experience in it. So then once I got into dental school, actually, I worked in a periodontal practice when I was in college for one of my courses. And when I was in dental school, I was like, okay, if I keep working really hard and I'm at the top of my class, I'll have options. And I didn't want to ever fully put that pressure on myself, but I did. I mean, I'm very self-motivated.
Right.
And then I did really well, and I was at the top of my class, and then I applied to ortho. So the rest is history. From there, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, and that actually wasn't that long ago. So
Yeah.
I first got to know you down at the University of Maryland.
That's
where
right. Yeah.
I was going in as a rep at GAC
Right.
back in the day, doing lunch and learns.
Yeah.
And, you were
I
the
remember.
class of-
I remember it like it was
you were
yesterday.
the class of whatever year that
Yeah,
was, right?
2011.
2011.
Yeah, 2011.
Gosh almighty. Yeah,
I
it's
know. Time
incredible.
flies.
So was it always your plan to, hey, okay, so now I've settled into a career path.
Mm-hmm.
Was it always your plan to really expand once you kind of got established, or was that kind of organic, or how did that happen?
I couldn't have ever guessed it was going to be like it was. And I think that was something that was evolving for me as I continued to grow in practice. And I think that I thought that I was happy with 2 locations. And it wasn't until we bought our building in Perry Hall and we moved that one location out of those small footprints, like the 1,200 square foot space, and we bought a 3,500 square foot bank building when Ben joined. And that's my husband. And he's an attorney, so he left law. And then he's like, I'm going to run the whole back end. And then that allowed me to focus on the front end. And we started to be like, okay, we can do this more because it's more manageable. I don't have to be responsible for all of the payroll, everything going on in the back end and the front end facing patients. Yeah. He could handle that, and he could negotiate the leases as I continued to focus on the design of the clinics, patient care. And so that's really what allowed us to continue to grow, is that relationship, that working relationship that we have with each other. So as we got that down and the more offices that we open, we have a blueprint. And so it's okay, how can we do it a little bit better each time? And it's a lot of fun for us to continue to evolve.
Great.
Yeah.
So when did Ben join your practice?
That was in 2016.
2016.
Yeah, so 2016.
So how has that been? How has that been?
Yeah, coming up on, so that's 9 years that we've been working together. Fantastic. I mean, we wouldn't be this practice if it wasn't for him and I working together to grow it. I mean, he is my full support on the back end. And I couldn't have done it without him. So we work a lot. And that's the one thing, we were talking about a little bit before, is like, what does that work-life balance look like when your spouse is working in a business with you? For us, it's always work that we've been able to talk about business as we're continuing to grow. It's not like we're home and we're like this, we cannot talk about the work, because you have to continue to talk about it if you want to continue to grow and you want to continue to expand. And we know when are times to talk about it and when aren't, times to talk about it. But we're respectful.
Of course, you've not only been growing your business over the last number of years, but also you've been growing your family, right? 3 young boys.
Yeah. So
how does that play? Because again, you look at what you do on a daily basis, it's incredible what you get done.
Yeah.
How do you carve out that? And I know you just talked about it a little bit with Ben, but how do you carve that out as a mom and a business owner? How do you separate those two, or do you? Do they ever blend?
The kids have been very involved in the business from the very beginning. I remember going to the jewelry building that we bought, and I have the baby in the car seat. I'm breastfeeding in the back of the car while we're meeting with the agent, So, it's been very intertwined. For every office I opened, I had a baby. And then we got to like 2 dogs. So now it's like I have 3 kids, 2 dogs. So that's 5. I don't know if I am going to adopt a gerbil or what next. I have no idea.
Right.
I don't think so. But, I think as it's evolved over time, I was feeling very stretched personally, because I think you come to a realization. I was trying to give 100% to everything all the time, and it's not possible. Yeah. It's you get to a point where you're like, I can't devote myself 100% to the business and 100% to my family. And it's just, how do you divide that time? Yeah. And I've talked about this with women before too. It's like, how do you divide that 100% of you? Yeah. And so I put a portion to the business, and then I have the portion for my family, and you never feel like you're enough, and it's always going to feel like you're lacking in some type of way. But for me, it's about being present where I need to be at that time. So when I'm in the office, I'm 100% present in the office with my patients, with my team. And then when I'm out of the office, I try to be as close to 100% present with my children as possible. If I kind of let any of that overlap, then I feel very strained and I never feel like I'm with anybody 100%. So
it is always an effort.
It is always an effort, 100%.
Yeah, every day you consciously say, I got to separate this.
Yeah, you have to separate it. And it's like, okay, where is my energy and effort going to today? And some days it's going to be more work. And then some days it's going to be more kids. There's always there's no real balance. Right. It's just like trying to find what is going to work for you.
Yeah. Well, let's step into just the orthodontic side of the business for a little while. Of course, you've been very successful, very fast. Again, this is your 5th location. And I've noticed as I was looking around this morning while we were prepping that it is a little bit different, more boutique-y, is it fair to say? That it's not just straight orthodontics. I see you have cosmetics now.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit about it as we were prepping. Was that a conscientious decision to follow a trend or necessarily create a trend within that orthodontic environment? Can you talk a little bit about that?
I think that the way that I've built the business is what I personally want. And the same thing goes for social media, because people typically will ask me about social media and how am I doing social media. I'm always trying to follow what I am drawn to.
Right.
So when it comes to social media, what are the different things that I like to watch? I love watching other women in business. I love seeing their families. And so I've actually made a conscious decision to show my family, where some people will only show their offices, because I think that people can really relate to me then. So not only the moms of patients that are going to be bringing their kids in, they get to see all of me. So the way when they come into the office, they know exactly what they're going to get because they've been watching me. But for other female business owners too, I think there's a lot of female business owners that follow me in the orthodontics industry, in the aesthetics industry, because they see a woman who is powerful and creating multiple businesses and can figure out like that type of balance, and they can see that balance. I like being visible like that. Regarding the trend for aesthetics and cosmetics, that was a personal decision because I wanted to know for myself. Yeah. I've always been interested in Botox and fillers and all of that. And in the state of Maryland, I am allowed to inject as a dentist. And so why not learn how to do that? So in 2018, I just had my, actually it was right before I had my 3rd baby. And I was like, okay, I'm going to learn this. And then I took a second course right after I had him. I remember, again, I was like pumping in the bathroom, like as I'm doing the course. Yeah. But there's such a connection between facial aesthetics and cosmetics and what we do in a growing face, but then also in a mature face that is related to the cosmetics industry. So maybe I'm not going to be doing the dermal, like the lasers and all that kind of stuff, but at least with my female patients, I could be also advising. But it's not just female, it's the male patients too. I could be advising them, I have friends that are in dermatology, I have friends that are in the cosmetics industry. These are the other things you can do to help enhance your overall appearance. And so I think patients really like that because you're taking a look at them as a whole. You're not looking at them just in their mouth. Yeah. And I think when you're able to do that and you can kind of create a comprehensive plan for your patients, people truly appreciate that. It's just taking everything a step further. Yeah. And I think that is one of the reasons why I'm successful too, is because I'm able to incorporate that. So again, my intention is not to do all of that, but my intention is to be able to make people feel more confident and know what is possible for them.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
So do you think that social media is driving some of that holistic approach to our looks, that, not just a big smile anymore, which is great, and what our industry is focused on always is just creating a beautiful, healthy smile. But do you think that the advent of social media and its popularity is driving people a little further? Hey, I think it all really came to a head during the pandemic because everybody's looking at themselves on camera. Yeah. And so I think that's when the aesthetics industry as a whole began to blow up. Yeah. And so, Ortho, yes, we're dealing with cosmetic improvement of the smile. But then as far as the Botox and fillers and lips and wrinkles and all of that all, when people are looking at themselves that closely every single day, that's when the cosmetics industry in whole, and even Ortho, that year after 2021, it was insane growth. Incredible. Yeah. So how can we marry the two together? And so for me, it's about
I want to be a pioneer in the industry. Like I want to create something new. I don't like just dealing with or working within the confines of what was told to us of what we need to be. It's like, how can we push this forward and how can we invent something new? And so for me, it's like trying to figure out how that works and then how as an industry we can push forward. Yeah.
Wow. I love that word
Yeah.
pioneer.
Yeah.
I really do.
Thank
I mean,
you.
that's just the entrepreneurial spirit
That's
and
right.
drive, right? That really encompasses so much.
Right.
So to that then, I want to look forward a little bit. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously a very successful local business here in the Baltimore area, growing rapidly. And then you decided to join Smile Doctors.
Right.
What attracted you from being a very successful independent business owner to affiliating with such a big company like Smile Doctors? What attracted you to that?
So I think that there is a lot of misconceptions, misperceptions about that, thinking that it's corporate practice of dentistry. And I think a lot of people feel that way unless you're actually involved in it and then you see truly what it actually is. It's about a group of people coming together to push an industry forward, again, together. And I think that the collaboration that you see within a group like this, I mean, again, I was not aware of this. I didn't really know what to expect when I was coming in. One of my friends introduced me. I mean, I was kind of surprised that it took so long for somebody to like reach out to me. I'm like, why is nobody talking to me? I know I'm
would
growing.
agree.
So like, why hasn't anybody talked to me yet? And then when I was presented the opportunity, I wasn't looking to do it. And then ultimately, I mean, I remember I was using Kane Waters as a financial advisor down in Texas. And I went down there for a meeting and I remember and I was pregnant again with my third child. And I think I was just feeling the stress of everything and being on an island. It's myself and my husband running a business together and feeling like we didn't really have much support. And so by joining an organization like Smile Doctors, you are now with a bunch of other people across the country, now 550 practices across the country, who will all support you. And it's fantastic. And so we can help other people can help us. I mean, it's like you're not alone on an island anymore. And I think that's the power of an organization like that, is that collaborative energy and effort. But it's been fantastic for us. And I think for anybody that we were talking a little bit before about, I really enjoy kind of pushing the limit of what can be done in orthodontics and wanting to do more and bigger than the four walls of our practice. And by being a part of an organization like this, it really allows you to grow within the industry. And so if it is something that if you don't want to be seeing patients or doing patient care all the time, there are other areas for you to grow, still stay within the industry, but like do things at a higher level. Right. And so I think that's one of the things is I wanted the opportunity to continue to grow. And I wanted the support. And that's what ultimately allowed us to do that.
Yeah, it's great. I met you just recently down at the Smile Doctor Summit down in Louisville, Kentucky, which was great. And for me, again, I'm in the industry, obviously a different side of the aisle, but more of a support, product innovative support role. But what it really I felt fulfilling from the Smile Doc meeting was I feel that they really are the gatekeeper of the industry, right? They were so focused they were so patient-centric, which again, it's kind of the misperception. When you join corporate America, it gets diluted. Right. The patient is last, profits first.
Right.
It was comforting to see and hear Smile Docs kind of, no, patient first.
Right.
Right? We're going to focus on the patient. So I love that. So as your role in Smile Doctors, do you see, from being a female, any challenges in coming in as a female orthodontist to an organization, or has that been a benefit or a challenge?
I think industry in whole, I think that I live every single day in a bubble, meaning that I've created an environment that is 100% female power supportive. And we thrive off of female energy. And honestly, to me, we female orthodontists have a different way of interacting with patients. And ultimately, I feel like potentially better patient care, bedside manner. A lot of us are moms, and we deal with moms all day long, and we can talk and relate to the moms. We're empathetic to the children. Not saying that men aren't, but it is different coming from a female. And so when I do go to these meetings, I mean, it's not just smile doctors. It's the AAO. I mean, it's the entire industry. You go to these meetings and you see it's very still male dominated. It's kind of like I'm like, wow, okay, like that's not my everyday, and that's not the environment that I've created, being so female, like power, empowered. So I think that coming into an organization like this, there are starting to be more and more females. I feel like with my involvement in the organization, there are more and more females that are looking to join. And I want more female growth in the industry, and I want more female leadership. And so that's something that I'm trying to push forward as well, because I think the men should be afraid.
Ooh.
I think they should be afraid. Very afraid.
I might actually agree with that, Amanda. Yeah. I mean, when it comes to Amanda Gallagher. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things like where I'm very competitive. I mean, I've always been competitive my entire life. I'm super competitive with myself. I'm competitive with other people. But it was like, I remember like coming back from maternity leave and like, be like, okay, boys, like you've had it easy for the last 6 weeks, you know, that I've been out, but I'm like, okay, game on now. You know what I mean? So it's.
so to that point, and believe me, I know you're competitive. I've known you a long time. How was your attitude kind of being received with the Smile Doc, good old boys club? I mean, have they embraced that? Do they,
are they afraid of me?
Are they afraid of you? Yes, be afraid. Are they afraid or are they embracing it?
No, they're embracing. I think that it's time for females to have a voice. Yeah. I mean, we deserve a voice. Now residencies, I mean, it's at least 50-50 on the amount of, if not more female to male ratio now. We deserve to have a voice. And I think that I'm different than other women in the fact that I always in the back of my head, okay, like, am I too much? Like I really do, but it's like, you have to kind of push forward and like, I am enough. And that the things that I have to say are important, and it's about having the confidence. And I come in confident. I don't tell anybody what to do, and but I offer my opinion, and it's, whether or not they choose to receive it, I mean, that's on them.
Which is fine.
Which is totally fine. Yeah. But like I don't shy away. And I think that women, I mean, we need to find our voice and be confident in our voice. But I mean, I think that they accept me.
Right. I think it would be silly not to.
I hope that they do.
Yeah, because like you said, we are seeing more female graduates coming out now. So that shift is changing in the industry.
Right.
Which again brings into that work-life balance.
The work-life
becoming
balance,
more important now,
and even the focus on aesthetics and cosmetics. I mean, I think there are a lot more females, and that's the thing too. Like in orthodontics, I mean, it's kind of like things have been a certain way for so long, and it's like class 1 occlusion, but there's so much more. Yeah. And so I think that it's boring if you just stay within that, work within those confines. It's so much more fun if you can kind of broaden your horizons and learn more.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, obviously you're doing that. I mean, you're kind of reforming the mold.
Yeah.
They say breaking the mold, but you're reforming it, right? Yeah. For sure. No question about it. So where do you see all of this going? Where will Amanda Gallagher be in 5 years, you think?
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it's like.
Do you look that far down the road, or no? You just kind of.
I mean, just like even in the last 5 years, I wouldn't have expected to have, office 4, office 5, so I don't think anything is off limits. Right. And I set the bar very high, and I have very lofty goals, and the goals that I have sound crazy even in my own head, but every day I wake up thinking about them and thinking of who I want to collaborate with and what I want to do. And, part of me is like, okay, well, why would anybody accept me as XYZ? But it's like, okay, no, like you can make anything happen. Yeah. So you just have to be willing to put your mind to it. So for me, it's like, where do I want to focus my energy? Because that's where I know I'm very powerful when I can focus my energy and my thoughts. It's like, okay, what do I want that next thing to be? Whatever the next step may be. So
where do you think, okay, so that's where Amanda will be in 5 years. Where do you think the industry will be in 10 years from now, you think?
I mean,
our specialty of orthodontics. How do you see that evolving?
Our industry, in order to stay relevant, we need to change. We need to adapt. We need to focus more on aesthetics. We need to create practices that are going to evoke a feel of, like that, like very spa-like. And I see a lot of that trend kind of happening. You're going to make them look beautiful. So just like any type of med spa, like create beautiful spaces for people. So I see that trend kind of evolving more like in that kind of med spa space or some type of collaboration. Not saying that the orthodontist is going to do med spa, but I think there's going to be an integration of the two different types of industries, aesthetics and cosmetics, is with orthodontics. I think that the aligner industry, we were talking about too, like Smile Express, and that is one of the things I'm really excited about with Smile Doctors is Smile Express, which is our collaboration with Invisalign to create a cosmetic aligner treatment. And I'm super, super excited about it because it's different than Smile Direct Club. It's different than the do-it-yourself aligners because you actually are seeing a doctor in person. You are being properly diagnosed. We're taking x-rays and we're going to be able to advise treatment and then monitor your treatment. So there's always somebody that's going to be looking out for you. So I think that also the industry has to get in line with the fact that people want convenience. They don't want to be coming in for appointments regularly. We have to try to meet people where they are. Everybody is super busy. Why were all these neurosurgeons and other professionals going and doing a direct-to-consumer aligner? Because nobody has time to be here. So that digital workflow, evolving into like seeing patients less, I think that's where things are trending.
While not compromising the level of care, of course.
100% not. Not.
Again, we talked about that a little bit, Smile Express and the aligner versus direct to consumer. And we know what a mess that's been, right? And most of them have evaporated.
And they're going to come and they're coming back.
Where there's a dollar, right? You'll find an investor. But, again, what I love about that, I learned more about that at the Smile Doc Summit, the Smile Express. And I love that it's doctor driven. It's the specialty driven. So kudos to Smile Doctors for reinitiating that kind of, service to someone that's just too darn busy.
I mean, it's everybody could be a candidate. I mean, it's only for adults. It's not for children. It's 18 and up, and it's really to treat the social six. And there's a lot of people who come into the practice who need jaw surgery, and they're like, this one front tooth, bothers me. So why not give those patients what they're asking for? Because they're going to get it somewhere else. They're going to go to a direct to consumer company. Why not
go see a specialist?
Yeah. Right? Why not see a specialist? Why not have them have a place where it's like if they don't get what they want, that they can always upgrade treatment if they would like.
So let me ask you this then, because I wonder about this sometimes. Because, as you know, our industry is somewhat shifting from analog, quote unquote, over to digital. Do you see maybe technology can hurt our industry or help our industry in the long run? As in with respect to preserving the specialty, right, of orthodontics?
I don't, no matter what, you need to have the human component. So I'm not worried about that, but I am worried about it for the people who don't have charisma, and for the people who are just doing the bare minimum and showing up but you need to have that human component. I think anybody who is going to be able to have that human emotional component is going to be fine no matter what. And we'll learn how to harness this in order to make it more efficient for the patient and more efficient and profitable for our practices. So I'm not worried about that from that component. And patients still want braces. I mean, braces are trending on TikTok. So.
Yes, they are. They're coming back.
They're definitely coming back.
Yeah, train tracks are good.
That's right. So there's always going to be, you need to have humans and human interaction in order to have that. The aligner side, less touch required, but there's always going to be people who are going to want braces, in my opinion, and things are always, there's always going to be trends. So
you'll always get the kid out there.
And you need diagnosis and treatment planning. I mean, it's like AI can't do that. I mean, AI is not there. It's probably not going to be there for a little while, but you truly do need to diagnose and treatment plan patients correctly to get the best result.
Awesome. Well,
it
looks like we're coming into the end here, Amanda.
They're turning us off.
They are turning us off. But I do want to ask, again, we've been friends for a while, and Dr. Amanda Gallagher has a little touch of Irish there. And
that's right.
I remember you said you and your family, you were going to plan a trip over to Ireland maybe this year or next
year. For my dad's 70th. We will need to do that.
That's awesome.
I want to use your the Patrick O'Shea travel services.
Yes. I'm there to help. So
thank
that's
you.
exciting. And, I would, boy, would I love to be there when you and your family was there. That would
Yeah.
be fun.
Oh, that would be a
We
great
could
time.
share a Guinness together
Yes,
or
that's
something.
right.
I know Ben, your husband, has been there a couple of times, so
Yes.
he's probably more of an expert
Yeah,
at
his
this
brother
point,
lived there
and
for a
will
little
be
bit.
writing up the agenda. But
That's right.
Amanda, I just want to say it's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Just sitting with you, and thank you so much. I know you're a busy woman, and
Well, thank you for
this means
having
a
me.
lot
I
just
appreciate
sitting
it.
down and chatting with us today.
Absolutely. It's
Thank
been a
you very much.
pleasure. Yeah, thank
Amanda.
you. It's been a
Cheers.
lot of fun.
Yeah.